Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just back to that, you said that I'm not an expert on this decision on the bladder pod, and the chairman keeps bringing it up, but you're saying that the criticisms of the 5 peer reviewers of whatever this DNA sample was are published?
They are. They're part of our decision record.
Okay, did the committee subpoena the decision record, or I guess they could just get that off the internet, right?
Right, we provided all those documents.
Maybe that's why they haven't read it, because they didn't subpoena it and they haven't looked on the internet.
That would be correct.
Okay. Just in terms of, I'm just kind of still puzzled why we're here, and we had an assertion that we're not here because of any allegation of bias, but it says here, this is from a press release, this one here. Okay. Serious concerns Obama administration implementing these laws in an arbitrary fashion based on an undefined definition of cooperation for affected parties. The administration has repeatedly chosen to only prosecute select violations of these strict liability acts, and our goal is to get a better understanding of how and why these enforcement decisions are made and what defines cooperation. Can you tell me, are you choosing to only prosecute select violations?
It's a strict, the MBTA is a strict liability law, so we use enforcement discretion in bringing action under the Migratory Bird Treaty Act. So at one level, yes, that's selective, but we have established criteria for doing so. As you mentioned previously, Mr. DeFazio, if we see a violation, we first speak to the violator. We ask them to correct the violation. We then go back. If they haven't corrected the violation, we issue a ticket. Then we go back a third time. If they still haven't corrected the violation, then we would refer it for prosecution. So we have a standard process and practice for making those decisions about enforcement discretion.
So if they comply after the first visit, no further action. If they comply after they get a ticket, no further action. But if they just blow you off, then you prosecute them.
That's right.
Okay. To the document that the gentleman from Colorado and others have discussed at great length, I'd just like to read into the record what was redacted. This seems like a lot of convoluted maneuvering to do much of what the ECPG advocates outside a permit. I gotta wonder if things would be different if we'd moved the ECPG document a year ago. And then another redaction is, I'm concerned, and another redaction is blah, blah. So what is the ECPG, and is this a horribly important part of the investigation?
It's the Eagle Conservation Planning Guidance, and I mean, that's an important document, and I think what was being expressed there was frustration. The document was a long time in coming, and people are expressing frustration about the fact that we haven't been able to get it done in a timely fashion. And I think that that's true in just about any endeavor that we undertake. You would see those kind of similar frustrations in a kind of major endeavor like that.
But is that somehow material to selective and biased enforcement? I mean, you just took a long time to produce this document?
Not at all, sir.
And then I would ask the solicitor, I mean, it is puzzling. So why would that phrase or whatever, that email that is of no significance, have been redacted? Got any idea?
I haven't looked at these documents closely, so I can't say exactly why the basis of the redaction, but often it's to protect the internal deliberations of agency employees. So but
this isn't the deliberation, it's just blather. It's somebody sending an email saying, yeah, we didn't get this done, and someone says, yeah, whatever, and blah, blah. I mean, it's like, what's,
And if I could add, I think on that issue, exhibit number 4, where we're talking about, I think that's a good point of why this process doesn't serve any of us very well, because I think what you see here is on the left side, a response to a FOIA request. On the right side, a response to a congressional request, and I'm looking at the request. The request is for documents that concern enforcement of the Desert Renewable Energy Conservation Plan. There is no enforcement of the Desert Renewable Energy Conservation Plan because that plan is in development. It has never been enforced. And so I think that redaction probably was because the people that were reviewing it said it's not responsive because the committee asked for documents related to enforcement of the DRECP. There has been no enforcement of the DRECP. So what you're seeing there is a product of, again, how the committee asked us a question and how people are trying to respond to the question that the committee asked.
Okay, the time of the gentleman has expired. Chair recognizes the gentleman from